RTE and the mainstream news are back again with their lies and propaganda. What's new, guys? So today, welcome back to County Gains News Network, okay? We have another RTE video which is launching their new strand to counteract misinformation and disinformation, which, you know, in irony, in an ironic twist, RTE, Virgin Media, News Talk, and the whole rest of the mainstream media, the MSN, are the biggest spreaders of misinformation and propaganda in the whole world. Okay, the only ones that are objectively non-biased are me and the swathe of other YouTubers in Ireland on the internet. Okay, so today we have this video. I haven't watched it yet. A lot of people sent it to me. I get basically sent the same videos as a lot of other people on the internet, okay, that do this sort of topics. And it's about RTE, okay, of course. We're about to get into it, look into it. And then we have a second video from Grip Media talking about how crime has increased. You know, this is obviously objective facts, guys. Crime has increased. I believe there's been 7 stabbings in the last 6 weeks, or I believe now it's 8 stabbings in the last 7 or 8 weeks, if you include the ILAC Center where somebody was stabbed in the neck. And we're going to talk about those kind of stabbings and how they're different from the stabbings before. All these stabbings and crime lately seem to be caused by random people attacking, not like back, 20 years ago when it was just gang violence. And to be perfectly honest, guys, you'd kind of expect it from gangs. If there was gang wars, that's kind of part of their job description, is to get killed because, they're fighting different gangs, they're trying to sell drugs. That's their job, is to make money and launder stuff and do crazy heinous crimes. Nowadays it seems it's more random and attacking the civilian and the public, which is pretty sad. But let's get into this RTE video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's hear what they have to say today.
There's so much information online and in the media these days. Sometimes it feels like a barrage of claims and stories coming at us from everywhere. That's why RTE News has launched a new strand focusing on disinformation, discourse and democracy. It's called...
Who is this lady? She's just a complete random nobody. Again, guys, this is just NGOs, just funded by RTE. It's just complete nobodies, guys. Who are these people? We don't know. We'll never know.
New strand focusing on disinformation, discourse and democracy. It's called Clarity. It will look at complex issues and...
How ironic, it's called Clarity. What the hell is this? Is so stupid.
Information, discourse and democracy. It's called Clarity. It will look at complex issues and provide the context and the information you need to make up your mind about a story. Let's take a story that we worked on a couple of weeks ago, looking at a claim made by Conor McGregor at the White House. McGregor made a claim that Dublin had gone from being one of the safest cities in Europe to one of the most dangerous in the last decade. We were able to track that claim back to an online gambling website that ranked European cities based on the number of casinos, nightlife and the price of a pint. We also found that the...
So, not to defend McGregor, a lot of people saying, Chris, don't defend McGregor. I'm not, any part of any political party. As Jesse Ventura says, I'm not going to be voting for any of these parties. In my personal opinion, I'd vote for independence, okay? But Conor McGregor, guys, he's running for presidency, okay? And also, this is taken out of context. And you can defend the man or you can defend his stuff, just like we defend his work, becoming like UFC champion, inspiring kids to do MMA in Ireland, things like that, guys. I don't know him personally. I've never talked to him before. I don't know him as a guy. But he made those comments outside to Sky News. He didn't say them at the White House to the President of the United States, Donald Trump. We don't know that for certain anyways, okay? But he did make comments outside to Sky News reporter, okay? These were kind of throwaway comments, but let's be honest, guys, it's telling the truth, okay? To say that, there hasn't been 8 random stabbings in the last 7 or 8 weeks in Ireland is just ingenuous, and it's a lie, guys. That's been happened. This is facts, guys. These are statistics. You can just Google them, and they want to say, oh no, crime hasn't increased, nothing's increased. Guys, didn't they say like Dublin in Ireland is like the cocaine capital of Europe?
In the last decade. We were able to track that claim back to an online gambling website that ranked European cities based on the number of casinos, nightlife and the price of a pint. We also found that the official data sources did not support McGregor's claim. These additional facts cast McGregor's statement in a very different light, and we think it's why verifying and sourcing a story as well as providing context is crucial. Where there's a lot of...
No, let me just break down exactly. Let me just tell the Irish public what she really means to say there. She doesn't mean to say that McGregor is casting statements and making things seem in a different light. It's saying that he has such a massive pull. He has all these millions of followers that they're going to listen to him rather than listen to the mainstream, and they're jealous. 1, because they won't make as much money anymore. 2, because if you listen to people, you have the power. Okay, the more you talk, The more you make money, the more you talk, the more power, the more strength you have. If you have massive amounts of following, if you have massive pull, you are the powerful one in the relationship or the business, okay? And this business being, he is making money from the internet, guys. And he is trying to become the Irish president, okay? Not the US president, okay? The US president is friends with him. You guys see that the whole landscape is turning now, and they're running massively scared, guys. RTE, Virgin Media, News Talk, Joe.ie, the Lad Bible now we see with James Doyle, Protein Boar or whatever, this guy with this fake sort of Irish sort of persona. He is also pandering towards these massive conglomerates and corporations. It's really sad to see, guys, because I don't like taking sides, left or right or whatever, conservative, liberal. I talk about the left versus the right, but let's be honest, guys, you're trying to get rid of freedom of speech. That's just anti-democratic, I'll be honest. That's just anti-Irish, trying to get rid of freedom of speech. So horrific by that guy. That was probably the worst thing I've ever watched. But yeah, guys, RTE are trying to say that we are clarity. We are the main news sources. Like, what BS? I'm more relatable and also probably have more of a more proper information than they do. And probably quicker as well. If you guys want to get proper information, go to Twitter, okay, or X, previously known as Twitter.
And we think it's why verifying and sourcing a story, as well as providing context, is crucial.
We're so genuine. We're so camaraderie. We have such great camaraderie with the people. We're trying to be so, liked by the people. This is just groveling to the people because everyone hates RTE now.
Where there's a lot of attention and there's a lot of noise around a particular story, we will take that story and bring you some clarity to it. We also, under clarity, want to be able to bring you in behind the storytelling. RTE Clarity is trying to do a number of things, but at the end of the day, it's to ensure that you continue to trust the journalists and the stories that we tell you every day.
So the aim...
See, words are powerful. I've said this in many, many videos, guys. Words are very powerful. We want you to continue to trust. We want to ensure that you trust journalists and the stories that we tell you every day. Okay? Let the brainwashing commence, guys. That we have to trust us. Trust us. You guys ever watch that movie? I love that movie back in the day. You guys ever watch that movie, They Live? One of the best American movies of all time. It's a classic, okay? Where he puts on the sunglasses and then he kind of sees everything. He becomes like completely non-woke to what the hell is going on. He kind of wakes up and, brainwashing here, buy me, sell me, consume. This is what they want, guys. They just want you to buy their shitty newspaper, okay, or get their app on the internet.
So the aim of RTE Clarity is to check out and put some additional context around claims that are being made so that you can judge a story for yourself. Over the coming weeks and months, this content will be on the RTE News website, news app, and across our social media channels.
Oh my god, I'd be telling all my loyal followers to not watch any of that stuff. That is complete false and lies in my personal opinion. I don't think that stuff will give you any clarity. Matter of fact, I think you'll cloud your judgment even more. So, okay guys, the next one I wanted to show you real quick, okay, is just this little piece I came across. And this is what I mean by the brainwashing and the disinformation is coming, right? Because I've said this in multiple videos that the news doesn't report the news, they create the news. So all of a sudden, the Irish Independent came out with this sort of little hit piece here. It's like an advertisement, and their main quote, it's like they're watching my stuff, guys. It's like literally like they're watching my stuff. At Irish Independent, we don't just report the news, we live and breathe it with you. And I've said that multiple times, guys. They don't report the news, they create the news. Okay, it's a very powerful statement. Okay, so go and research that one yourselves, guys. Okay, we don't report the news, we create the news, meaning that they make the news stories to what they actually want because of money, etc, etc, etc. So the last video we're going to react to today is Gript Media, and this is Ben Scallon doing a report talking about, is Dublin objectively becoming more dangerous? Okay, and the statistics do show this, guys. Okay, because the independent, Irish Independent, which is non-independent whatsoever, guys, completely bought and paid for. It's literally an arm of the government, okay? It's a government mouthpiece. It should have been the fourth branch of government. It would hold the government to the flame, okay? Like dissent the government, but it absolutely doesn't do that at all. Okay, of course it doesn't do that. It completely just, is completely just a mouthpiece for them. But today we're going to see actually a media that's independent, Gript Media, okay? And the statistics show that it is increasing. So let's hear it.
Is Dublin more dangerous now than it used to be? The answer is objectively yes, and the statistics bear this out. As explained by my gripped colleague Gary Kavanagh in this article, between 2003 and 2024, many serious violent offences in Dublin more than doubled. Assaults, threats and harassment are up 114% during that period.
Oh, yeah.
Threats to kill are up more than 2,400%. Blackmail and extortion are up nearly 1,900%. Drug dealing, intimidation and gang-related crimes have surged. While
100%, and this is what I said, guys. Look at this, like blackmailing, extortion. That's crazy, man. Threatened to kill or cause harm, 2,500%. I actually reacted to the CSO statistics for those who went to school in Ireland. Okay, that's the Central Statistics Office in the country that reports on these crimes and stuff. It said that it went up loads. It said it went up completely, absolutely, percentage-wise. You know,
urged. While it is true that total recorded crime is down 7.5% since 2003, that's largely because public order offences, burglary and property damage fell, often due to changes in Garda focus as opposed to there being less danger. Meanwhile, crimes that actually make people feel unsafe, like assault, rape, intimidation, harassment and shoplifting, have exploded. As An Garda Síochána noted in response to a query from Gript about this issue, it is evident that Ireland in 2025 is a very different society from that at the turn of the century.
Case closed. Case closed. I don't want to hear nothing about it from mainstream media. Oh, Ireland's as safe as it was 25 years ago. No matter what way you cut it. And I'm not blaming any one peoples or anything like that before the comments start saying dumb shit. Oh, what happened to society? Guys, it's people are more poor. Let's not even take it from a social standpoint. Let's take it from like a flipping economic standpoint. Poor, people don't have houses. People are mad at each other on driving. There's more crashes. There's, you know, it's just crazy. You know, more violent probably as well. Okay, insane.
Some claim that this increase in crime is just a result of natural population growth, but even per capita, the rise in serious crimes is undeniable. And before anyone asks, we don't know how much immigration contributes to these numbers because the state doesn't collect data on that. So we just have no idea what the reality is there.
See, that's a big one, guys. You know, people coming in, they don't have passports, they're illegal. You know, there is illegal in this country. Of course, we can have that discussion about legal immigration, but let's just take it from the standpoint that we know about illegal, or if there's people, you know, that you don't know, or whatever, just the people themselves. Like I said, poor people, flipping North Dublin, flipping the rest of the country, robbery and stuff. It's just crazy. Dublin is just completely different. You know, you couldn't suggest that it's not, guys. I mean, anyone that's lived in Dublin would know that. All the people that have lived in Dublin for decades are like, oh yeah, like it's completely changed. And then the mainstream media with these 22-year-olds that are reporting on news, oh, we want to get some clarity on the subject. Like, they don't have a clue what the hell's going on. They've been alive 20 years. You know, the 40, 50-year-olds, they know what's going on. They know the crack. You know, the stuff going back and forth. No, ridiculous.
Despite all of this incontrovertible data, Gardaí still insist that Ireland is safe by global standards. But compared to 20 years ago, our capital city is clearly far more dangerous than it used to be by many metrics that count the most. Bottom line, Dublin in 2025 is not what it was in 2005. It's more violent, more threatening, more chaotic, and the stats don't lie. If you'd like to read more about this issue, you can check out this article by Gary, which will be linked in the description of this video.
Shout out to Gary as well from Grip Media, making these good articles. Gary Kavanagh. Go over and support Grip Media. Go like, donate, subscribe to their channel if you guys want to as well. Help them out. You know, they actually put out good content as well. But yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, any guard or politician or journalist who deliberately lies should be sacked immediately. That's the top comment. Yeah, I mean, people, they just lie en masse. You have the mainstream media in bed with the politicians saying, oh no, everything's fine here, it's good, you know. It's almost like kicking the can down the road. They don't really know what's going on, and then it's like, oh, let's not blame anyone or do anything, you know. But you have to take action in this case, guys, and people are just afraid to take action in this country. It seems quite lame by a lot of the mainstream. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you all. Has crime gone up in Dublin? Absolutely yes. Are the mainstream media ever going to report about it? Absolutely no, guys. Okay, they don't really want to ever, you know, put out proper information. Any of these disinformation sort of clarity websites or segments that they're going to be running on their shows is purely to make money and not actually make you guys understand information better. If you guys want true information, subscribe to County Gains. Okay, jacked journalism, as I like to call it. Alright, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.